Back to Threes and Bubbles here. So now I want to talk with you a little bit about UPT again. We'll pick up where I left off in February 1971. On the 19th of February 1971, I had my Formation 2-ship check. But before I get to that, I want to review a little bit of February with you. From the 1st through the 18th, I flew 5 formation dual rides, 6 formation solo rides, 1 of each in contact, a dual and a solo, and then 4 dual rides on a navigation cross country for a total of 17 sorties on the first 18 days in February. Man, I was flying my butt off and I loved it. God, I loved every bit of that. That was truly fun. Okay. Time to come back to business. So I get scheduled for my 2-ship check, and at 8 o'clock, sat down with my IP, and he gave the pre-check ride briefing. That was just a generic briefing about everything we'd covered. Do you have any questions about anything? Here's what you can expect on the check ride, and so forth. That was at 8 o'clock. And then between 8 and 11, probably 11:30 or so, my scheduled check ride time, I had a couple discussions with a couple other students that had flown with the check pilot I'd been assigned to. His name was Max Schmeling, and he went by Max the Axe. Just swell. What a great moniker for somebody in check section. Max the Axe. Okay, fine. What my classmates told me was he had a stunt he liked to pull on students, wherein during recovery he would call for a position change just to mix things up, an unbriefed position change, if you will. That was his purview. Okay, fine. And sometimes if you did that to a student, it would rattle their cage because you had a lot going on at that particular time that you're thinking about. Just as lead by itself, as a wingman, you think you got it made. And then all of a sudden, you're put into that position where now you're doing the leading. And you got a handful of activity you got to take care of. Okay, fine. I had been briefed on it. So anyway, we go out, strap on the jets, and away we go. Out to the West MOA, there in San Antonio. And we're out there doing our basic 2-ship profile. Pitch outs, rejoins, straight ahead rejoins, turning rejoins, area work where we did like a lazy 8, maybe a barrel roll, echelon turn, and then extended trail. God, I loved extended trail. I was in my element in extended trail, both as lead and as the wingman. That was just really fun. Okay, to come back to earth here, Bob. So we get everything done, both as lead and the wingman, and now we're heading back to Randolph for a penetration and report to initial on runway 32. It's now runway 31, but it's runway 32. And in those days, I think we were about 30 miles out, we hit a fix, and it was just a straight penetration, and then it picked up initial at designated altitude and spot on the ground. Okay, fine. You got it. Okay, so we're heading to the descent point, and Max the Axe calls for a position change. Swell. Just swell. So I'm on the wing, and we're about 5 miles from the descent point. I'm on the wing. So now I was on the left wing. I'm going to bring the formation up a little bit so you can see us. So at that point, we take the lead. Now, I've got, this guy's out of position, the leader's out of position, I'm back here, okay? So now I have him come back and join. I've got to get him over to this side because when we get down to initial, it's a pitch out to the right. So at some point during all this hee-haw, I've got to get the formation repositioned in the proper places we need to be. And then I need to contact San Antonio Approach Control from Houston Center, get us on that channel, and then start the descent. And then do the descent check. Thanks a lot, Max. just thinks of that. I've got my hands full anyway. Okay, fine. It went okay because I'd been given a heads up on it and had thought it through a couple times. Okay, so that went fine. So now I'm on initial. I got my wingman on the left wing, and I'm feeling pretty smug about things. I beat him at his own game. Pitched out, came around. I'm really feeling good. God, I love that airplane. So I'm coming around 60 degrees of bank, pitot tube on the horizon, pull into the buffet. Airspeed below 240, gear, flaps, check them, 3 green, flaps and pressure, start around the final turn, called gear check, full stop, came around and splattered the damn thing on the runway. It wasn't a hard landing, but it was ugly, okay? Didn't bounce, it was like, okay. He gave me a good on the landing and a good overall. I received a 95.6 on that ride, and a big part of the downgrade on that ride was that stupid landing. It's funny. What was that? 71, almost 54 years ago, and it's still kind of annoying. Anyway, taxi in, he gives me the debrief, all is well. I survived Maxi accident. Okay. Now, as Paul Harvey would say, here comes the rest of the story. So in the 70s at some point, I'm thinking probably 78, 79, I'm on a cross country over to Shaw Air Force Base, and I don't know why. God, I don't know why half I know. The reason I know half the stuff I do. But I knew Maxi Axe had gone to RF-4s. And so I go wandering into the club that night after we get there. Shocking, isn't it? And I saddle up to the bar and I start looking around, and there's this blonde-haired guy standing there, and I kind of look at his name tag, Schmeling. You got to be kidding me. So I looked at him and I said, would your first name happen to be Max? And we're both majors at this time, so I think it was 79. So I said, would your last name first name happen to be Max? And he kind of looked at me, yeah. And I said, well, I think I took a check ride from you in 71. We got to trading notes back and forth, and sure enough, that was Max. And we laughed about a couple things. He ended up buying me a beer. All was well, but it just fond memories, I suppose. It's just another element of UPT, Max the Axe. Okay, so now I'm through my 2-ship check, and we'll pick up the rest of the program here in a few days or so. This is Bobo. Great to see everybody this morning. Base gear, stop. Now pay attention to the landing. See ya.